There's a very specific reason why this is a quick shot and not a full review. I just couldn't finish the game. I fought through the first 5 missions and then got stuck on the 6th one. Then I used the in-game codes that you get from, playing to unlock all the levels, and then just lightly played through them before my emulator kept freezing on this one specific part and I just couldn't get past it. But that does not mean that I did not have a heck of a time while playing this game. For someone who doesn't really like flight combat sims, I do like flight sims, but flight combat sims not really, and I get motion sick super easy. This game was a blast and I didn't feel sick after playing it. I can only play like maybe 20 minutes of Mirror's Edge before I just feel like I gotta go lie down before I just get completely sick. The story of Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader, follows you as the, leader of the Red Squadron in a galactic civil war, fighting in the most influential battles of the original Star Wars trilogy. You take on missions from galactic dogfights to search and destroy missions, with little hostage missions in there as well. You even lead the mission to take down the Death Star. Other than that, there's really not much story to it. Fly, fight in the iconic battles from Star Wars, and just have a great time doing it. So half of the music here is either from the original movies, while the other half was made for the game by Factor 5, with access to the Lucas Vaults to maintain that authentic Star Wars feel. According to the wiki, Dennis Lawson, who plays Wedge in the movies, was also brought in to record new lines and along with bits taken from the movie. Factor 5 was able to blend both into a pretty seamless mix that doesn't sound out of place in any Star Wars game or movie. Rogue Leader was also the first game on any platform to use Dolby Pro Logic 2 with 5-channel surround sound, which I got to take advantage of using my Astro headset. So graphics wise, I'm playing on the Dolphin emulator with the graphics boosted 4 times native, I think, and I think there might be a texture mod pack on. I don't know if I actually installed it right, but the game looks fantastic either way. So it may look a little bit different from the GameCube game you played, because, well, we didn't really have a lot of HD options back then. Jesus, it wasn't that long ago. Anyway, getting to the game to run smoothly and stably was an undertaking of the century. I had to go on so many wikis, so many forums. It was almost easier to go and buy original hardware and find the game, but I did get it working. I had to spend a fair bit of time tweaking settings just to get it to run without stuttering. It was pretty bad when I first launched the game, and it was just seconds per frame, not frames per second, If you've ever watched a playthrough, and this is going to sound so random, but the game is called Virtual Highlight, you'll understand what I mean. It still does the stuttering in Rogue Squadron, this game, from when you change from cockpit to third person, but there's no way I could find a fix for that, and nobody that I could find a fix for that on the wikis. Overall, the game looks clean and sharp, and the space fighting areas are massive. The skyboxes look great. You can't see the scenes on the skyboxes, which is always a thing that, especially with flight sims, you're going fast, but you notice skyboxes and stuff like that. The ships are detailed. You can tell which movie they're pulled from, which area. Everything looks so good, and even the planet surfaces that you fight on, or if you're fighting on space, are distinct and iconic and memorable from the movies. The game consists of 10 levels of various dogfighting type missions, from stealth to outright massive space battles. Rogue Squad 2 expands on the original with, improved graphics, increased tactic menus, which was nice. You can tell them to follow you, attack what you're attacking, or break off and go attack other targets. You can give those orders like on the fly and there's no delay or stutter. You can give multiple orders. Sometimes I found myself mashing the buttons for help and I still failed the mission anyway. Whatever. There's a lot of unlockable levels and movie callbacks as you play the game, which is very nice and very like nostalgia right there in the heart. According to the wiki though, this game includes a number of unlockable secrets as well as 5 bonus levels, which I didn't get to. 2 levels allow you to pilot the Millennium Falcon, which again I didn't get to, and 2 more allow the player to fight against the Rebel Alliance as Darth Vader. And finally, the fifth unlockable level I should say, is a tech demo that Factor 5 produced to exhibit at Nintendo's Space World Trade Show back in 2000, which was, well, 20 years ago now coming up, or 20 years already depending when this video goes up. Gameplay wise, it's a combat flight simulator. If you've played, what are those games? Ace Combat, I think those are the jet games. The 7th one just came out or something. But if you've played any kind of flight combat, not a flight sim because those are different, but flight combat, yeah, you know what you're getting here. Although this one seems to be a little bit more polish put into it. Maybe that's just the LucasArts and Factor 5, putting their polish in, and the fact that this was a launch title for the GameCube. I don't know, this game just, I was very surprised when I loaded it in and started playing it. As I was saying before, this is the second game in a line of 3, and it was a launch title for the GameCube back in 2001. Whew, it's a long time ago. It was also the 7th best-selling video game that month, and the best-selling third-party game, and the 2nd best-selling game overall on the GameCube during its life. Man, the GameCube, what an underrated system. Had some real bangers on it when it came out. There's a reason that this game sold very well though. If you've played it, you understand what I mean, but just looking at the gameplay, it's fun, it's solid, it's easy to pick up and play. The levels aren't like super long and taxing. There's tons of replayability. There's different ways to do the missions. Well, you can do them different ways. The outcome is going to be the same all the time, And it expands on the Star Wars universe. If you love Star Wars, you're gonna love this. But even if you don't love Star Wars, you're still gonna find enjoyment in this space flight combat sim. Sounds weird. You don't have to be a fan of anything to really appreciate the time and work that went into making this, to make it fun as it is, to make it fun, to make it stable. Give or take. I bet you on original hardware it's stable, to make it replayable even though it's kind of short, to make it not feel nauseous. Even in first person, I didn't play in first person much because I would just like to look at the detail of the ships and things around me, but it looks good, it feels good. I didn't get motion sick, and most of you know I get super motion sick really easily. Like even playing an FPS sometimes will get me motion sick, but this I felt pretty good playing. It was solid, just nice game to play. Original hardware or not, and again, I say this whenever I talk about this, not condoning or condemning. Original hardware or not, it's really fun to play and you should get your hands on it. GameCubes aren't super expensive anymore, and I'm sure you can find a copy of this somewhere. Even though I couldn't finish this game right now due to, it just crashing on that one specific level on the emulator, and I just don't have time. It was very fun, and I'll definitely be going back and trying to finish this all the way through to see what the game offers me.